everyone, Richard Carlton. Welcome to the awesome day of FileMaker training. I am like super caffeinated. So today is a good day for you folks to ask open-ended questions. In the event that your questions get AI-ish, I'm gonna like lean on Margaret to help me with that. If it's super crazy, we'll shelve it for later. If you got server questions, we have the super amazing Jacob Taylor who's here to backstop my my server questions and answers. However, as a 35-year developer, I know most of the important questions and answers. If I get nervous, that'll be Jacob's cool. If I like, you ask me a question, I start going like this. Oh, like Rodney Dangerfield, I can get no respect, start sweating. That's Jacob's clue to jump in and to help save the conversation. So, but he is here. We have some canned questions already that came up on the internet recently for people who had problems in FileMaker. Today's a little bit kind of a Jeopardy flavor of stuff, so I'm going to move myself over here. Here are the topics for today. Unclean shutdown, okay? And these are all inspired by the questions that have come to us. So then we have some schema questions. We got monkey spread and Claris or Claris. So these are all the topics that we have for today.
You have a YouTube question.
YouTube. Go for YouTube.
What would be the best way to have data added to records by different users but not be published to the record until someone approves it?
Okay, so there's absolutely two ways of doing this, right? So, well, there's more than two ways, but there's two ways that are going to be easy for all of us. So if you have a database, we're going to go back to the yellow, is it yellow dog file? Oh no, let's go back to something else here. So let me just create this over here. So there's two ways of doing this. New file, I'm just going to call it, and who is this? Who am I talking to? Just so I know. Anyone I know?
You're talking to Joel on YouTube.
Hey, Joel. So real quick, so say we have tables and I have, we'll call it the final data. It's important, whatever this is. You know, it could be the plans for the gearbox for that compound rotor system on the helicopter that designs that were stolen. So I create this, okay, and then there's a table over here. It's like preliminary data, okay. So the two ways I handle, and I'll get rid of this table here. I'm going to say just delete this, right? So let's just talk about this from the big picture perspective, relationships. We're all agreeing that the data ends up over here, whatever's in here. And it starts off over here. Okay, so two ways of doing it. Is the data like really, really, really preliminary and there's absolutely people are going to die if the data gets mixed up? That's the question I would ask. If it's super, super, super like really gnarly, like you really, really, really want them isolated, like for real, then do them in two different tables. You have a flag over here, it says flag, you define a field in here, and I'm going to just go back over here. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to say define database. I'm going to go to fields. I'm going to go to, I'm just going to delete the built-in fields because Claris does this, and I have to explain to people, and it just confuses the out of the new people because they turn on all these options that are so dumb. So what I have is the final data. This is the super secret number. Okay, the super secret number. This is the data that has to be final, has to be locked, it has to be approved. I'm going to change it to text. Change. Then I'm going to create a field called, maybe flag approved or flag not approved or whatever it would be. But these would be final. If I come over here, we'd have super secret. I might say preliminary super secret number. It has to be a text field. I'm going to create it there. So now it's over here. And then what ends up happening is we could have another field over here called flag. We'd say flag preliminary. I can't spell where there it is. So I'm going to create that. So it's like a checkbox, right? And we say, okay, so what we have is we have one layout. We'll go to layout. This is the final layout. I don't see anything new record. No fields on it. Oh, I know. It's because I defined the fields after I. Okay, so here's the super secret number. This is what we call the final. Okay, right. Let's talk about this. This is good stuff. Final. Here's a final one. Make it smaller. I'm going to hide the right. New window here. This is also preserving. So one table. The tables don't cross-pollinate. There's no automatic cross-pollination. I'm going to put these two over here. This can be a checkbox if you want, or the number one or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But what we do is we start off saying flag preliminary. We'll auto enter a 1, which means it's preliminary. right? You could have it a checkbox, right? You could have a checkbox, or you could say it's preliminary or final or something like that. You could change it. You could do this a couple different ways, but but if you have create a new record over here, new record. So it's a 1. You're like, well, I want that to be a checkbox. Fine. I'm going to duplicate it down to the same field, but I'm going to change the styling on it with the inspector. Right click, pop the right side, click on it. It's the right pane, right panel. So this is the right pane, left pane. There's 3 panels over here. There's 4 over here. Okay. We click on this. We say, I want it to be a checkbox. And you're like, whoa, I want it to be so, but we have to define what a value is for checkbox. I just say a 1. And I say a 1. Okay. You say it's a 1. So if it's a 1, it will be checked. So you don't really see the 1. So what you could do is you could just make it a little bit bigger. And then I move it over so you can't see the 1. So now if it's on or off. Now, the trick is we have super secret number, 5555555, super secret. It's preliminary. Then someone says, it's final. Okay. What I would do is we put a script trigger on here. We just want to do this real quick. How many more questions do we have, Margaret? It's a good question.
This is not really any more questions from the audience. We have other questions in the database, but audience questions take priority for obvious reasons.
Yeah, so I'm going to start this over here. I'm going to start the right. Once again, I'm in the script workspace, which is, there's a left pane and a right pane here too as well. I'm just going to create a script. We're going to say, move it. Okay, so this is a kind of a similar sort of script we had before. It'll be, what we'll do is I click on it. There we go. And I'm going to say trigger. So we know it's a trigger. I'm going to put a little thingy on it. And I'm going to say trigger. It's going to be move data if final. Okay. And so what we do, it's a trigger that will move the data if it's final. Every time the user exits that field, for now, this is the way we do it. We want to check that. In fact, the simplest way to do, let me just bear with me here a little bit, everyone. Flag preliminary, flag final, and then I would say already moved. There's other, you could be more, I'm being very verbose, right? So everyone knows what this means, right? If I create this, flag preliminary means it's flag final, it's final, and it has been moved. Does that make sense? So this is for more beginner kind of conversation here. So if you start with a new record, let me go layout mode. I'm going to go here. I'm going to have this one right here. So and I'm going to put this over here. So this is the real data, but you see it formatted with styling. And I'm going to put this field here, which will be final. And I'm just going to move it right here. Flag, final, already moved. Okay, very simple. Okay, this field here should be flag, final, already moved. It's got a 1, so I go browse mode. So if I create a new record, boop, it starts off as preliminary and it's not been moved. Okay, let me get rid of the field down here. Let's get rid of it. Keep it simple. Browse mode. Okay. Then we put data in here. Okay. Now, what happens is that if I say it's final, if I click on this, or maybe this is hidden, but you say it's preliminary. No, it's not preliminary. Turn it off. Okay. At that point, we want it to have a script that runs that moves it over here. Let's write the script. Okay. We're going to say, we could comment it, do a bunch of commenting stuff and say, I did this, I did this, I did, oop, hang on. That's about to lose its mind. You have to select that. There you go. Then you do it. This is my name, this is the date, this is the assumptions. It's starting over on this layout. It's going to do this other thing, a little description here. There's no penalty for this. This is your instructions. Then we say if, and so when we're operating over here, we assume we're on the preliminary data, if this is equal to 1. So if it's equal to 1, what do? We do nothing. It's preliminary. Are we moving it? No. Okay, so no, we're not going to move it. So we're just going to end the script. Or exit script, correction. Exit script. Boop, boop, boop. So the script ends right there. Okay. But what if it's there? Then we want to see if it's, the other thing is that it's not been moved already, right? Because if it's already been moved, we don't want to move it twice, right? That's why I put the other thing in there.
Yeah, so what you have to do, like a search?
I could thread it in here and do another if statement, Or you could do a search, but why? All we're tracking is that it's already been moved. If we moved it, so what we're going to do is I'm going to say if it's I'm going to say if it's not equal to 0, not equal to 1. So it's the flag is not equal to 1 is the condition where it's unselected. And I say and, or I can do and. No, I can do and. Well, hang on. Let me just hit the function here to pop the window up. There we go. And we want to say that it's already moved is what we're trying to do is capture that it's not equal to 1 there either, right? So not equal to 1. So flag. So if preliminary, do I have this right? Is that if it's not preliminary and it's not been moved, then move it. Does that make sense? So we're going to change the script to let's keep going, right? The idea is that this has to gate. We want to, because what we're going to do is down below here, it's going to do the move. Okay, so we want to gate it right here. Because we're going to run it right here. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to set a trigger. So we say right click this on this object. Script triggers is one way of doing it. On object. You could do on object validate if you wanted to. On object save, you could play with these. Let's see which one you wanted to do. I'm just going to do on object validate because it'd probably be good enough. I'm going to click on this one. So whenever we edit this and change it, it's going to attempt to run the script. In fact, what I'll do is I'll come over here and I'm just going to run a beep. I'm just going to put a beep right here just so we know it does stuff. Beep. I mean, I'll hear it. I don't know if you guys will hear it or not. Save. Okay, browse mode. Okay, if I click in here, click out. Am I hearing beeps at all? Beep.
I'm hearing beeps.
If I click off here, the whole idea is if I turn this off. Did you hear the thing just now, Margaret? Beep.
Yes, and the audience is hearing it. So
I'm the only one who doesn't hear it. Yeah, it's not super high pitched, like way high, is it?
No, it's like boop.
No,
boop.
it's not coming through.
So
we have an audio mixer in here. I'm not getting that.
Yeah, I'll fix that.
So the whole idea is if it sees it's not preliminary and it hasn't been moved, then it's going to run moved. So that's this condition right here. So then what we're going to say is, well, we're going to move the data. So what you're going to do is you're going to set a variable like that other detail we had, set the variable, come up with any name you want, single dollar in this case, dollar data, and it maybe the name, what was it? Was secret number or something like
Super secret number, yes.
And once again, this name here doesn't matter in so much as that you're just consistent with it. So we're going to set that to the field that we had in the preliminary database. We're going to set it to this preliminary super secret number. We'll say okay. I'm going to say okay.
And then you open a new layout, right?
New window. We're going to say new window, right? Because we want to. Well, once again, this gets back to the preserving the previous found set, right? So it's easier just to pop a window and go, hey, where do you want to go? I want to go here. I want to go to what layout? I don't want to be on the current layout. I want to go to the layout with the final data on it. Okay. Then we're going to create new record, right? New record request. And then I'm going to say, set the field. And I'm going to set the final. So we've popped a new window. We're on the final area, right? So then I'm going to say, well, we're not here. We went to a window. So the fields that we're going to access are these right here, right? And I'm going to say super secret number. And I'm going to set it from the variable. Dollar. Oh, Margaret, you have to put monkey bread in here.
Oh, I don't know why that's not installed.
It's a new update on.
Oh, probably why. Okay.
So we got this has to be identical to that one, secret number. They look correct. Okay, so then it sets it, and then what I can do is you could commit it if you want, but I'm going to close the window.
Close window's an automatic commit, right?
It's an automatic commit. And then I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to set, we're back to the preliminary record, and we're going to say set the field, boop, boop. Hello, there we go, set the field, and we're going to set the field that it's been moved. Flag is already moved, we're going to set it to 1. So now, and then I'm going to go ahead and commit it and save the change. Okay, great, that's there, and I'm going to say commit records. Okay, so it's checking to see if it should move it. If it's not supposed to move it, it just It skips it. So this happens all the time, but it'll be almost instantaneous. Oh, we got to move it. Okay, set up the shoebox, empty box, set the number in there, pop a new window where all the final data goes, create a new record, take the stuff in the shoebox, stick it in the field, close the window. We're back to the preliminary area. So that way they end up where they were, right? Does that make sense? So save it. I'm going to go ahead and go browse. There's one blank record in here right now. I'm going to close that window because we're over here, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to watch it with the script debugger, and then, unless there's other questions, we're going to wrap for today. Script debugger. So we're going to watch the script as it runs. Now, most of us will just hit the button and we see if it works correctly, but a lot of times, especially on your first couple passes through a script, you want to watch it run, okay? So we have data. It's like super secret stealth configuration of the stealth bomber. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, there it is. Chinese are not supposed to get this data, okay? Flag preliminary. Oh, wait a minute, new record. There we go. That's the way it starts. Super secret data. Now, I click out. The script fire. No. I click in here. I clicked in there. Okay, it's running the script. Okay. Stop. Oh, I see what's going on. It's not equal to 1. Let me, okay, so what it is, it's equal to 1, clearly, but it's not, you know why? Why is this right here? This is subtle.
I don't understand, because like it shouldn't have gone through to the if, right? So
Yeah, so why does it think it's not equal to 1 when you see the 1 right here? What kind of field is this? It's a text field. This is probably a text field that should have been defined.
So it's a text string.
Yeah.
So you have to put quotation marks around the if statement?
It keeps firing. Stop. Okay, it's stuck in a loop. So I just told it to stop, but then it's still in the field. So if I click out, see? So I'm gonna have to let it set. So it ran, fine. That's why we can see what's going on, right? So file, manage, database, right? And we're gonna go to field. I'm gonna change this to a number field because we're using 0 and 1, right? 0 and 1 really numbers. And a value list is text, right? So it's like, okay, so I'm gonna change that one to a number as well, just on general principle change them both. Okay, try it again. New record. Let's change the trigger because that trigger's a little janky. So right click. So it keeps firing on validation. But that's a pre-trigger, Margaret. So we were somehow telling it to not exit the field.
Tim McKibben mentioned that trigger on validate is before the value is set, so it might mess up your script because the value isn't one yet.
Who is that, Jeff?
Tim,
you get 10 gold points for being brilliant and smart. That is a true statement. I'm content to make the mistake with all of us here because then people see that. So some of these triggers happen before you do something. Like if I'm going to type F-U-C-K, and then you want a trap for that to keep it from coming up on screen because that's a bad word. We don't want to say that. Then you would want to have a trigger that looks for that before it shows up on screen. So that's a idea of a pre-trigger. A post-trigger comes in after the fact, says, oh, he wrote this on screen. Whoa, that's bad. Get rid of it. But it probably flashed. And a bunch of 5-year-olds go, right? So you have these kids don't know what the word is. They ask your dad, it's not safe for work. They ask daddy, Canberra 57 has probably got grandkids, knowing Canberra if he's retired. Anyway, so yes. So on object exit, let's try that. I think, is that a pre too? Is Tim there? Is this a pre without me looking at it? I'm gonna say okay. Let me see. I'm gonna run that. Let's try that. Let's say okay.
No, it's post.
Browse. Yeah, I want one that's post. So new record. Okay, there it is. Now,
what's happened? Because your tab order.
See, now it did exit correctly there. But it was. Did it
go to?
It went to the first field on the layout. Is that
that's
the
what
tab
I'm saying. Order? Yeah.
Okay, so when we jumped. Okay, so it also should do it if we jump to this window. So if I go over here, and I come back. Was it going to do it? No, it didn't do it. But if I create a new record, everyone, there's a tab order. When you type into a field and you hit tab and you kind of tick, 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 and you set the tab order, when you create a new record, it fires the beginning of the tab order. If I'm going to create a new record here, 1, 2, 3, it's actually in there. It's highlighted that. And if I click out, I'm exiting it. And it fires, see?
Yep.
So this is why, okay, there we go. And it still won't let me escape. Just play. There we go. Layout. So what I'm going to try to do is have it change the script trigger to on object. We've changed it. It's going to do a save. So this is why you try these out to see which one, because they all are, when we talk about script triggers, this is a multi-show effort to do all this, okay? So on object save. So it should only edit, it only should fire if we make an edit. So new record.
Out of curiosity, can you remove a field from the script from the tab order if you want?
Yeah. So if you want to see tab, I go layout mode. Here's the tab order, wherever the hell that's at. Layout tab, set tab order. So there. So when you tab, it's the first thing you tab, then the second thing and third thing. And a lot of times when you're building a layout, you'll have that goes ching, 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 like a slot machine around, and you have to redo them. So you say clear all, and maybe you want to just do this. That maybe that'll be 1, that'll be 2, that'll be 3. We'll omit those. Okay, browse mode, new record. So it jumped in there. What if we have nothing in the tab order? That's a good one. Remove all, clear all, and we say okay, browse mode, new record. Didn't do shit. Perfect. So if you don't want it to jump somewhere on a new record on the screen, just remove everything out of the tab order. Or remove number 1. Although it might jump to number 2. I'm not going to get into the weeds with that, but you could play with that. You understand kind of how that works, okay? So here we go. We have super secret number. Super secret stealth coding on the super bomber, nuclear, there, okay? It's secret, it's preliminary. Now we validate it. We want it to be final. So if I click in here, nothing happens. I click in here, nothing happens. If I click in here, I changed it, it fired. Step. Now, is that not equal to 1? No,
Yes.
There's no 1 in there. Is that one not equal to 1? Okay.
Yes.
Step. Set variable. Okay, the variables, we can watch the variables. You want to see the variables, they're a little over here. These are like some other variables that we have. Step, we set this $secret number. There's our super secret stuff. Step, new window. So it's a second window right there. You can actually spawn it off the screen if you want. If you leave it on screen, it might flash for your users, like strobing, have an epileptic fit if you do it the right frequency. New record. Boop. It's a new record. Now paste the stealthy data out of there into here. Boop. Okay. Now close this window will also cause it to be saved. Boop. Now it's saved. Now we need to mark it so it doesn't hit it again by accident. Boop. 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 Now I click in here. I click in here. Now I changed it. See, I changed it right here to preliminary.
Mm-hmm.
Is it going to try to move the data? No. Well, but it's preliminary again. Well, if you want it to code and unwind itself, which is kind of what we did, we went in a circle, then you'd have to write a script to go in there. And so this is how I would do it if it was super duper.
And then the last note, Joel, is that you would make it so the final is only accessible to, like, the preliminary is only accessible to people who have, like, admin access, a certain level of, like, security access.
Yeah. So normally you're not going to see that. So when this happens, it'll all be really fast, right? So yeah. So then people would only have some people only have access to final, right? And then some people would only access to preliminary, right? Because you don't trust them with the final data. So say you're doing preliminary, we have a new record, okay? And I'm going to type some stuff in here, and I'm going to click. You didn't see. It was that fast. Warp light, speed of light. Well, less than the speed of light, but pretty quick. And that's over there. So if I pop a new window, I come over here and I go to the very last record, they'll match. ASC.
And if you want to update existing records, you would just do a find, wouldn't you? Like capture the ID and then go find it.
Yeah. Well, if you're gonna be in preliminary and then go back and monkey with the data down the road, like re-update it, you have to. You're gonna have a key over here, a primary key, whether they have a relationship or not. is not necessary, but you're going to have a way of knowing that this record here always matches this record over here. Is that a concern for him? So if I go over here and I have a preliminary, I'm going to have the ID of the record, and it'll just be a serial number. But this is like prelim. Okay. I'm going to create a text. No, let's create a number, and I'll create, and it's going to be a serial number. I'm going to start at serial number, I don't know, 1000 or something, right? So then you say, okay, and then you're going to come over to the final data, and you're going to have an ID, ID of the record from prelim. Prelim. Okay, so there's that. We have a number field there. And so what happens, then you have to go to your script, and you have to adjust your script. So when the script, it's going to create the record, it's going to set 2 bits of data. We're going to set also the prelim. What I'm doing with scripting, so I don't have to deal with the relationship, which is more, honestly, a longer conversation. But you say ID of the key for the preliminary, right? So that's the name of it. You're going to put in here the from preliminary, you're going to put that field in there. So then when you come over, Margaret keeps jumping right there. I say, okay. So then it creates a new window, creates a new record, sets both of these bits of data. So the other one we're going to set is this one here, and we're going to set it to the variable right here. So now they're connected. So now you can go back and do other stuff because now they've connected them, right? So I hit save. I'm going to close it. So I'm over here and no one can see over here, and it's super secret stuff. New record, boop, and you have like, oh, it's going to be a super secret. Blah, 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 blah. It's a nuclear possum, as in a furry critter in the backyard with a small bomb on it. Okay. Well, it's final now. It's a super final. We trust it. It's final. So let's just put the word final here. I'm going to click here. I'm going to say, I'm going to uncheck preliminary. Okay. That's all it did. Well, nothing else happened. Well, it's marked as final. You don't have to show that one. Come over here, go to the next record, nuclear possum final, and there's an ID. So now you have IDs in one spot. Well, I want to change this. So you change some stuff over here, and you have to decide if you want to trigger here. It grabs this number, finds it over here, makes an edit. Very doable. If you have questions about this, you need help, send an email to support at RC Consulting. We'll find a way of helping
assisting you. Yes. There we go.
So it's like the basic fundamentals of sometimes this stuff. It's like
Well,
long before we get to AI or any of the other fancy stuff, we got to know basic data manipulation. You have to know this before you do all the other stuff. This is the fundamentals of like breathing oxygen. You got to do that before you do anything else.
Yep. Cool.
All right. It is Friday. So
Joel had a follow-up, which I think the answer is you would loop it. So you would also have to go through each record individually to select final. Couldn't like select a bunch at once to make final.
Well, it was going so fast. If you click and click and click and click, but you could do like, I have like a list view, and you could click on the checkbox.
You could just list view it.
Check. And it's going so fast as you check it, it's doing the work.
You could also make it so there'd be like a large button on top that like checks it for you, like in a script if you wanted to. Like I have this sound set.
Okay, sometimes you go shopping on shopping cart systems, and you're like about to check out. You got Labo 404, and you got David Angel coming over, and you need more toys, right? So you don't need one, you change it to 5. But then at the bottom is an update button that updates all the quantities. It's that kind of idea.
We're going to wrap up the stream, everybody. We hope you've had a good one. Q&As are fun.
All right,
Thank
everyone.
you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.